Welcome mamas, I'm Katie. Today we have a leg workout. This is great for any stage of pregnancy or postpartum. Feel free to modify as needed. What I'm going to be using today is a mini band or one of those long resistance band tubes is fine, or a set of dumbbells. If you have any of that on hand, that's great. If not, we can totally do this body weight. Also, if you have a stability ball, that might be helpful for, especially if you're later in pregnancy and you have a little bit more of a belly. Might not feel quite as good to lay flat on your back. So having a ball or a couch or a bench or something that you can prop those shoulders up on might be helpful. But if you have no equipment, don't worry, we can totally do this together. All right, we've got 5 exercises. We're going 15 with each. And what I want you to think about is staying connected with your breath the whole time. So let's do 3 big breaths. Ready? When we inhale, we want to expand through the lower belly and the pelvic floor. We want to relax and soften. On the exhale, we want to lift the pelvic floor and wrap through the lower abdominal muscles. So soften on the inhale. Think up and in. On the exhale, one more, nice big expansion. And lift up and in. Hug that baby up and in. Good. So stay with your breath through all of these movements. Try not to be breathing up here with your chest and your shoulders. Keep it down here in the abdomen. Be aware of what your core is doing. All right, first exercise, we have a curtsy lunge. So we're gonna be stepping back into the side, and then we're coming up into a little bit of a side lift. We don't wanna be leaning here too much, so we wanna stay up pretty tall, just a little lift to work that outer thigh. All right, we have 15 each side. We're gonna stay on the same side for 15 and then switch. Requires a little bit of balance. If you get a little wobbly, don't worry. And then to modify, if this curtsy lunge, stepping back into the side, doesn't feel great, just come back into a little bit of a reverse lunge and then a lift, okay? Again, if anything doesn't feel great, grab something to stabilize, maybe just do a squat and a lift, make it work for you. All right, that's enough talking. Let's roll. 15 each side. I'm starting this way, stepping back and adding the lift. Feel free to tap that foot down. Woo. If you need some balance help here. That's 3. We're feeling it in the outer thigh. 4, 5, good. 6, keep breathing. 7, inhale down, exhale up. 8, and 9, good. You'll feel this hip really working here. 10, 11, good. Exhale and wrap. 12. Whoop. Little wobbly there. 14, one more. And lift. Good. Let's switch sides here. Take a second to reset with your breath. Make sure it's down in the belly. Ready? Here we go. Step it back. Up and lift. Back. Up and lift. Good. Exhale. Inhale all the way down. Exhale and lift. Doing good, mama. Woo! Little wobbly. Again, if this does not feel great on the pelvis, feel free to just keep the toe on the ground there. All right, but if you're feeling okay, feeling strong, keep rolling with that lift. Good, 5 more. 1, 2, exhale as we lift. 3, stay up nice and tall. 4, and 1 more. 5, great work. All right, again, bring the breath down to the belly. Catch your breath. All right, this next one we're going into is a squat and a high knee. What I want you to think here, especially if you have this belly, let's keep our feet probably a little bit wider than our hips. Our toes turned out just a hair, okay? That way we have plenty of space coming down into this squat. We want to make sure that we're pushing the hips back. We're really sitting down nice and deep, if you can, if you're comfortable there, okay? But what we don't want to do is initiate the movement with this forward knee bend. We want to start with the hips pushing back, all right? So we're going to drop down into a squat, and we're going to lift the knee. I don't want to come straight forward. I feel that kind of crunches the belly, and we just did an outside lift. So this one is going to be more of a 45-degree angle, sort of an oblique raise. You should feel that lift right here through your lower abs and through your obliques. All right, what we're gonna do here is 20 alternating. So we're gonna switch sides with each. All right, so get that nice comfortable stance. Turn those toes out a little if you need. Ready? Think about your breath. When we go down, you might wanna inhale and then lift the pelvic floor, wrap, think up and in as we come to stand, or maybe exhale through that whole movement. All right, you ready? Here's 20. Inhale, and I'm gonna exhale. Good. Find what breathing pattern works for you and just stick with it. Think of your belly. Think of that nice support that those lower abs are giving you here. Good. Breathe through each rep. Don't hold your breath at any point during these squats, all right? The whole rep. Keep pushing your knees out to the side as you squat. Out to the side. Good. Keeping these outer thighs firing. Keeping those knees driving out towards your toes. Great job, mama. Pulling with the obliques. Good. And 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Shake it out. Let's make sure when we're squatting too, we're getting a good squeeze through the glutes. All right. Now here's the one I want you to use a band or dumbbells if you have them. We're gonna go into some hinge movements. So the difference between a squat and a hinge. With a squat, we keep the feet wide and the hips and knees bend together. With a hinge, we want to really think about pushing the hips back, keeping the back flat. And then when we come to stand, we pull with the butt and the hamstring. So we drive that through as the force to stand. So I'm going to keep my feet right under my hips here, toes pointing forward. If you have a mini band, hold it with your opposite hand. If you have a tube band, just go ahead and grab it like this. That'll be fine. Or if you have dumbbells, just hold these in front of you, but keep them close to your body. All right, so what I'm gonna do is a hinge pattern movement. I'm gonna keep my knees soft, but I'm not really gonna bend it like I do in a squat. This foot is not bearing weight, it's just support, so I'm just gonna set it down on the ground right here, just my toes. All right, I'm gonna keep my shoulders square, my hips square, and I'm gonna push this hip back, and I'm gonna use my butt and my hamstring to pull me up, okay? Push that hip back and squeeze through your glute and hamstring. Good. I'm keeping my back nice and long. Trying not to let my shoulder twist as I go down. As I bend, I kind of get to that point where I feel my hamstring kind of get nice and tight. We want to be gentle on the way down. Give a nice squeeze on the way up. Good. With our breath, I like to inhale on the way down and then exhale and lift. Getting that nice wrap through the lower belly. Good. Keep it coming, guys. Really squeeze here. The tempting thing is to sort of feel like you're standing up kind of with your upper back. But what I want you to do, make sure you're feeling each one of these reps right here. Good. Pull to stand. Think about pushing your hips back so you're touching the wall behind you with your butt. Good. 3 more. Squeeze. And 2. Keep those shoulders back. Tailbone nice and long. And 1. Good. Flip sides for me here. So switch your feet. Switch your hands if you need to. Good. You should feel that burn just kind of under your hips, under your butt, right there. All right, other side, same thing, 15 reps. I'm gonna keep my shoulders square, hips square. This foot's just support. I'm pushing my hips back and using my glute and hamstring to drive through to stand. Push it back and stand. Good, start to focus on your breath here. Where's your inhale? And where's your exhale? Link those together nice and slow on the way down. I want you to feel that load building in your hamstring here and squeeze it to stand. Nice job, mamas. Hinge pattern movements definitely don't get as much love as they should, because especially if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, carrying kids around, you always have that load in the front. So what we want to make sure we're doing is training the back side of our body more than the front side. So if you've got a leg workout, make sure it's not all squats. Make sure we're incorporating some really good posterior chain movement through the back side. Good. Keep pushing the hips back. Keep that spine long. Hinge through the hip. That's why it's called a hinge movement, because we're really just hinging through the hip. Again, keep this knee soft. Don't lock it out, but we're not bending it like we do in a squat. Good. 3 more. Down and squeeze it through. And with your breath. And last one. There we go. Very nice. Okay. So hopefully you're feeling that a little bit through the glutes and hamstrings. And we are going to keep that ball rolling with some hip thrusts. So I'm going to do this with my neck and shoulders supported on the ball. You can do that with your neck and shoulders supported on the couch, or if you don't have a ball, just come here to this position on the ground. Especially if you don't have a huge belly, this should be fine. But I'm going to use my ball for today. All right. All right. So let's get comfortable here. All right, so the focus here is that we want to keep kind of a tilt to our pelvis here so that we're keeping the low back nice and flat. We don't want to overarch. See that? We want to kind of tilt it back, contract these lower abs so we stay a little bit more flat through the lower back. Now what we're gonna be doing is one at a time. So I'm gonna take this foot, this toe is gonna be down, but I'm not gonna be bearing weight through my left leg, only my right leg here, okay? So I'm gonna keep this weight all through my right side. I'm gonna lower down, and I'm gonna use my butt to lift my hips back up. I'm gonna lower down and squeeze up. If you need to put a little bit of weight in that left leg, give yourself 20% of your weight here, 80 here. That's totally fine, whatever's comfortable. We've got 15 each side, okay? So I'm starting on my right leg. I'm gonna lower down, and then on my exhale, I'm gonna lift. Inhale down. Exhale, wrap through the core and lift. Good. You should feel this right here. Again, kind of in that glute hamstring area. Good. It's okay to get a little bit of a movement. You don't have to stay completely flat with your spine here. A little bit of an arch is okay as we go down. And then lift right back up. Good. I'm burning a little bit. How about you? Good. Bring it down and lift. Good. 4. Squeeze. 3. 2. And remember, it's all in this side hold for a second. And relax it down. Good. Whew. If that lower back is feeling it right now, just get a couple pelvic tilts forward and backward. Anytime you're feeling an exercise in the lower back, it's a good signal that maybe your lower abs aren't quite as active as they could be. So just be aware of your breath, of that lower core. All right, left leg this time. Okay, my right leg's just there for support. All right, I'm gonna drop the hips down and drive up. Some people like to cue that you're driving up with all your weight in your heel. I think it's okay if you want to have that weight distributed a little bit more evenly through your foot, through the ball of your big toe, ball of your pinky toe, and your heel. All right, and we squeeze. Remember, all that weight is in the left leg. We're using that glute to contract and lift the hips. Doing good, mama. We're almost there. Good. We can keep that neck relaxed. Good. Remember, contract those lower abs. That's what's going to support that lower back. Good. 3. All the weights in that left leg, 2. And hold here. And relax it down. Good. All right, last exercise. Bring it up. Again, shake out that lower back a little bit if you need. And for our last exercise, we're coming back up. This time, if it's comfortable for you, let's go wide with the feet. Turn those toes way out this time. And why I want to come to this position is as we lower with this wide position, you're really going to feel this in sort of your outer thigh, your outer butt, because you're pulling your knees apart, trying not to let them cave in here, okay? So your outer thighs here, and then as we stand, we want to think about squeezing together with the inner thighs. So we really are working both outer thighs, inner thighs, and quads and glutes, all with this one exercise, okay? If this doesn't feel great, if you're having any sort of pain or instability here, come to a narrower stance and maybe hold onto a railing or a doorknob or something and still work on pushing the hips back, but just have a nice narrow stance, okay? So we're coming here, feet are wide, we're tall. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come down into a 1/3 of a squat, the next third of the squat, and then the whole squat, and we're gonna add 3 pulses. 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna stand all the way up, squeezing through the inner thighs and the glutes. All right, 15 of those. Are you with me? Connect with your breath. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. All the way up and squeeze. That's 1. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. And squeeze. Oh, this one's gonna burn. 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. All the way up and squeeze. Take as much rest as you need. 1, 2, 3. Feel nice and supported through these lower abs. Keep breathing through the whole rep. Don't hold your breath at all. Pulse and up. Good. 1, 2, 3. We pulse. 1, 2, 3. And we lift, squeezing and everything. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep those knees driving out. Don't let them cave as you fatigue. 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. All the way up. Ooh, I'm burning. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Stay up nice and tall. Try and connect with that pelvic floor here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Come on, we got 5 more. You can do this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Squeeze those inner thighs. Squeeze your glutes. Come on. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And nice and tight. 2, 3. Pulse. Are you burning? Woo, last 2. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Bring it up. And last one. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. And squeeze. Awesome job, guys, today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.